Welcome to Southwest Florida Real Estate Update, hosted by area realtor Jim York and York Real Estate Group of Downing Fry Realty. Our show will bring you the most up-to-date information about the local real estate market, featuring leading experts in the real estate field.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Southwest Florida Real Estate Update. I'm Michael York with the York Real Estate Group, and I'm joined here today by our guest, Amy Hale, Vice President and Director at BMO Bank. Amy, thank you for coming on the show today.
Thank you for having me.
If you would, just tell us a little bit about yourself, how long you've been in the area, how long you've been in the industry, and where you got your degree from.
Sure, absolutely. I grew up here in Naples and proud to stay here and receive a business finance degree from Florida Gulf Coast University. So I knew I wanted to be in the field of finance, not sure what I wanted to do until I received a position with a local community bank in their wealth management area. And I started as a receptionist there, and within 6 months they came to me, an officer had left, and said, would you like to step into her position? So very quickly learned the ropes in financial services, and it's been almost 15 years now.
Wow, well
So,
that's great. Now
yeah.
You're the Director and Vice President.
Yeah, and it's a great place to be. I say I'm very fortunate to have the position that I do. I learn from every client and prospective client that comes into the bank. I hear their life story, and based on that, I make sure that I understand what their goals are and align the resources that we have as a global organization with what their needs are.
Absolutely. Well, I did mention that you were from BMO Bank. Who is that bank? Where are they located? Headquarters,
Sure.
and then also in Naples, where your branch is at.
Okay, yes. We are located, we started November 3rd, 1817, up in Canada. So we're about to celebrate our 200th anniversary. So we're a long-standing organization. Our parent company is in Toronto, Canada. But we are a U.S.-based bank with our headquarters in Chicago. Here in Naples, our local presence for the private bank is right on 41 by Waterside Shops. And then we have retail banking branches in Marco Island in the Esplanade, here in Naples on 41, and also in Bonita Springs on Bonita Beach Road.
Wow, wow.
So.
Well, that's a long-standing tradition there. So you guys, obviously you guys do the wealth advisory side.
Sure.
In Naples, in the real estate market, we have a lot of people coming from the Midwest and the Northeast coming to the area. Many of these clients are very established. They've been in their industry quite a long time. Some of them are looking to buy a second home here, or a lot of them are actually looking to retire here. So when they have a portfolio with somebody and they want to move down to Florida and they want to move their assets down here and they come to somebody like you, what is the process for that, and how does their relationship work with their current wealth advisor that they may have had for a long time up north?
Sure. So what you're asking about is a question on domicile here in Florida. So I'm going to take a quick step back, because one of the things that I hear when people come into my office and meet with me is they wonder what the difference is between domicile and residency.
Absolutely.
So the difference between the two is, I'll ask them, are you domiciled in the state of Florida? And they'll say, well, yes, I'm a Florida resident. And I've asked them what steps they've taken to accomplish that. And oftentimes it's just the homestead exemption on their personal residence. The difference between the two is a person or couple can have a residence in many different states, or oftentimes what we see is 2 different states. So you can have residency in more than one place, but you can only be domiciled in one location. So a domicile is really you're establishing your social, your economic, and also your civic hub and life in that one place. So your intent is to establish permanent residency.
Absolutely.
So the question is asked, and one of the things that helps to provide proof of that, the burden of proof is on the resident to claim that they are domiciled in Florida. And of course, one of the ways is to move their financial assets, which is considered the economic portion, down here to Florida. That's a difficult thing sometimes for people to do initially. What we see normally is when a couple might come down, or an individual, and start to become seasonal residents. It's a slow migration to move their assets down here. So they spend a little time getting to know financial organizations down here. They're a little bit reticent at first. But then sometimes what they'll do is test the waters. They'll bring a portion of their assets down here initially just to establish that relationship, because they do often have very long-standing relationships with their advisors up north. Not easy to fracture those.
Absolutely.
So what happens is they become, over time, very comfortable with our team, with the clients that we work with, and then they start to really see the value in working with us down here. They develop that trust and confidence in us and what our capabilities are. And then when you fast forward 10, 20, 30 years, when they start to need those additional services, they'll come to us, and they might need home health care that we can point them in the right direction. They may need assisted living guidance, and sometimes it's paying their bills. They're not able to do that anymore. So we become their trusted advisor, and they come to us for, more things than just investment management and financial planning.
Absolutely. Well, when we come back from the break, Amy's going to go over the benefits of moving your domicile to Florida.
Thinking of buying or selling a home in Naples, Marco, Bonita, or Estero, Florida? Think of the most experienced York Real Estate Group associated with the #1 brokerage in Naples, Downing Fry Realty, which produced $1.9 billion in sales in 2014, controlling 43% of all transactions in Naples. Jim, Michael, and Morgan York make up the York Real Estate Group of Downing Fry Realty. With over $250 million in sales transactions, they can offer you the expertise and trust you want and need in a realtor. Call them today at 239-273-6727 or visit their website, www.naplesyorkrealestate.com.
Welcome back. And Amy, now that we discussed the difference between residency and changing your domicile from up north to Florida, what are some of the benefits that a potential customer can see, or client of yours can see, by changing their domicile from a Midwestern or a Northeast address to Florida?
Sure. There are a number of benefits to doing that. Some of the most common ones that you often hear cited are, of course, the homestead exemption, which is a $25,000 reduction in the assessed value of your home for property taxes. The Save Our Homes Act, which caps the real estate taxes that you have to pay each year. If the value goes up, your real estate taxes can only go up by at most 3%. So that's a benefit there. Florida also is unique in that not all states protect from creditors personal residences, so that's a benefit in Florida here. Also in Florida, there is no state income taxes, and there are also no state estate taxes. So many other states have those, so that's a benefit of having a domicile in Florida.
Yeah, and 6% or so can really help somebody in the state income tax. I know a lot of our clients look for that as a huge savings and a huge reason to change their domicile to Florida.
Absolutely.
Now, you did mention that there's no death or estate tax in Florida, and that differs significantly from most of the northern states. Isn't that correct?
Many of them do have state estate taxes. So it's a real benefit to have a Florida domicile. If you have, as we spoke about before, the majority of your life down here, your social life, your economic life, and also your civic life down here as well. Yes.
Absolutely. And now the next thing, registering your property in a personal name or a living trust, or how does that affect what you guys are doing, and how do you handle that with a client?
Well, that's a part of their overall estate plan. So we always work with their estate planning attorney, or we recommend estate planning attorneys if they do not have one in the state of Florida. And that's a decision that is made with counsel and with us as we go over their plan. It doesn't necessarily affect their investable assets that we're working with. But one of the things that you definitely need to be careful of is that if you do title your personal residence in your living trust, and if you are married, that you file a waiver with that as well. And your attorney can do that and work with you on that.
Very well. Well, I'd like to thank you again for having you on the show, and just to give you a second, what branch are you located at? Where can clients find you?
Sure. Right by Waterside Shops in the BMO Private Bank offices. We're on the 6th floor on Laurel Oak Drive, and that's where my main office is.
Perfect. Well, again, I appreciate it, and I look forward to having you back on.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.